Wow. Marvel's Comic-Con panel from last night was one for the ages. It really felt like Marvel had gotten its mojo back from 10 years ago. This was like one of their classic Comic-Con panels where they're just breaking giant news story after giant news story. There are reports there of fans who are just euphoric. They are hugging each other. They're hugging strangers. They're crying. They're speaking in tongues. In case you missed it, in case you missed the big announcements made by Kevin Feige and his team, I'm going to go over the most major stories and give my reactions to them as they come up. I'm sure that you've heard the biggest headline of the night, which is that Robert Downey Jr. is back in the MCU fold. Robert Downey Jr. is back. No one could have seen this coming, except for me when I made a video about this 24 hours ago, my review of Deadpool and Wolverine, in which I predict that Robert Downey Jr. will be back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I didn't expect to be proven accurate so quickly, but there you are. I mean, am I a soothsayer? Am I a Marvel Nostradamus? It's not for me to say, but you're hearing it more and more. The next major item is that the Russo brothers are back. They're directing the 2 new Avengers movies. Listen, I'm not a big fan of these guys as directors, and I don't like the things they say about the movie industry, but you can't deny they've had a lot of success directing Marvel movies, and they know how to work a giant budget and a giant cast. So we'll see what they are able to do with Marvel's Avengers, Doomsday, and Avengers Secret War movies in the next few years. But I want to go over some of the other announcements that were made that haven't gotten as much attention, but I think are so interesting, and like I'm really excited to see what happens. And the first one is that Marvel announced it has signed Jason Momoa to play Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, in his own solo movie. I think this is a really big deal for Marvel because that Aquaman movie back in 2018, it was really popular and people really liked it. So it'll be interesting to see, like, what does Marvel do with the character? What does Marvel make of its own Aquaman movie? Okay, another surprise announcement about a return to the MCU was that William Hurt is back in the MCU playing Thunderbolt Ross. And this was maybe the biggest surprise of the night because obviously Harrison Ford is playing the character Thunderbolt Ross in the upcoming film Captain America Brave New World. And it's also a big surprise because William Hurt is dead. So really, I'm curious how they're going to handle having 2 different actors play the character General Ross, and with one of them being Harrison Ford and the other one being dead. But I mean, Marvel is really good with casting and with handling sort of, different personalities. The next announcement that they made is that Obama is president again. And I think this was a big win for Disney, and people were really pleased to hear this. There had been rumors that this was in the works for a while. So it was just like very gratifying to hear that Disney finally pulled it off. They made this happen. People have a lot of affection and nostalgia for the Obama presidency, and you could really feel the excitement in the room when they heard that Obama is the president again. Pokemon Go was the next announcement from the Marvel panel. Pokemon Go to the movies to see your favorite MCU heroes playing Pokemon Go. Gangnam Style is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Can you imagine watching the Scarlet Witch and Vision dancing to Gangnam Style? I mean, people were crying when they heard the news that Gangnam Style is being worked into the MCU. Okay, I thought this was a little controversial, but Kevin Feige brought out Disney head of theme parks Josh D'Amaro to announce that Splash Mountain is back and it's going to be restoring its classic Song of the South theming. I think this is actually a little in poor taste, but people were excited. So I think I heard look for that to open up sometime in 2027. Okay, comic book storylines that are going to be adapted into the films. The Avengers will be attending John McCain's funeral in one of the upcoming movies. There's not that much information about that, but I'll be interested to see what they do with that. New movie announcement, Thor Ragnarok 2. I love the first Thor Ragnarok movie, so I can't wait to see the further adventures of Thor Ragnarok. What else? The iPhone 4 with its classic 30-pin charger is back. I'm glad I didn't throw those old chargers away because Marvel announced the iPhone 4 is back. People were going nuts at this news. They are so happy to see the iPhone 4 coming back. I think another big casting announcement was Saoirse Ronan joining the MCU to play Lady Bird. And honestly, this casting makes perfect sense. This is a slam dunk for Marvel. Another storyline that they're going to be adapting is the classic Marvel comic storyline, the Mueller Investigation. It'll be really fascinating to see. This is a really complex, sprawling, multi-year saga, the Mueller Investigation. And people thought this didn't wrap up in a very satisfying way. So we'll see if the movies can improve upon the classic Mueller Investigation storyline in the comics. And then just this brought the house down. This was the big final announcement to close Marvel's Hall H Comic-Con panel. Marvel announced that the COVID-19 lockdowns are coming back. People have a lot of nostalgia, surprising nostalgia for those early days of the COVID-19 lockdowns when everybody had to stay home all the time. And so it was just a real coup for Disney to be able to announce that the pandemic lockdowns are coming back. So that's all the major news. I hope I didn't miss anything. What did you think of it? What are you most excited to see from the news broken at Comic-Con by Marvel last night?